Hello everyone and welcome to another live from the workshop. Now this is going to be quite an ambitious project, but I'm going to do it my best. I'm going to make King Hydroflax from the Husbands of River Song Christmas special. So basically for this I'm using a End of Time Master Head because it's the closest one I could find, and this is a Hulkbuster Body that I found on eBay. Now, I don't actually believe, I have to say, that this is an official toy, partly because it doesn't actually appear to have any licensing on it, and secondly because I bought it from China for like about 5-6 quid, so you might be able to find one yourself, but unfortunately I can't give you any more information than that because I literally don't have any more. But it was the best suited body that I could find, and obviously, as some people might have noticed, the head does the umbilical. The reason being is that there is actually a peg that... Oh god. There is a peg that Iron Man's head fitted on, which the Master's head does fit on itself. However, this is probably a feature that I'm going to get rid of because to really get Hydroflax's head position right, I need to trim away this to be able to move the head a bit further back. The other thing as well is simply because of there's a lot of big differences between this and Hydroflax's body, so unfortunately, and I will say this straight from the off, this is not going to be 100% accurate. And I say that simply because of just the changes that I'll have to make to it. Obviously, with something like this, it would be... If I wanted it to be completely accurate, I would need to completely rebuild the body from scratch, but unfortunately I don't have the necessary talent to do that, so that's why I'm using a basis for it, and this was the best basis to do. But hopefully I can quite easily make some of the changes and it will at least resemble Hydroflax to an extent. I said it might not be perfect, but it will still be a case if you look at it and you're going to know it's Hydroflax. The other good reason that I've decided to use this body is because there is a small button on the back here and it features light up effects. Now obviously Hydroflax's chest is red. Unfortunately I don't have any red bulbs to hand, but I'm going to see if I can order some. If I can't, then I might just replace this with a clear or yellow light, which is going to put that into place, and then I should hopefully be able to create a cover over the top to be able to do it around the edge. Now, first things first with this is I need to dismantle it. With this one, there's obviously just lots of screws in the back, so that's where I'm going to start by doing that. So let's get on with that first. And here is my finished Hydroflax custom. I am really pleased with how this has come out. I just want to stress that I fully appreciate that he is not completely screen accurate. If anything, he's very inaccurate more than he is screen accurate. But as I said throughout this video at points, it's really hard to get something this accurate when you've got very limited parts to build. So, please don't put comments below saying, yeah, but that's not right, yeah, but that's not right. I really do know, as much as I appreciate people's feedback, I really know that it's not an accurate custom, but it is good enough for me. It really is, because I'm really pleased with the way that it's all come together. I've actually not really put any paint on the back of him as such, mainly because limited paint, but mainly because he's only really going to ever be displayed from the front. But I am actually really pleased with how he's come out. The light does work. I don't know how well this is going to come up on camera. Not really. I might turn the light off a second. It's not that bright, unfortunately, partly because of the thing in the way. But this is a bit of consumer advice for anyone out there. Basically, this figure, as I said, I bought it off eBay. It was a cheap knockoff Hulkbuster. It hasn't got any licensing info or anything on it. It is literally a very, very cheap replica Chinese toy. And there is an inherent safety problem with these, and it's one that is technically still present in this figure because I didn't rectify it. I didn't have the electronic expertise to do it. But the lamp inside this is actually just an... excuse me. The lamp inside this is actually just an LED that has very long diodes on it that are basically just both bent, and then they are set in between two wires. So when you press the button on the back, the two wires touch the batteries and they're on. Now, it works, obviously, but the problem with that is it's incredibly dangerous, because within seconds of those wires pressing, they get extremely hot. And it's partly the reason why this bulb isn't so bright, because unfortunately, I didn't have the technical expertise, the electronic expertise to rig up something better, nor did I have the parts. But what I did have is several low energy LEDs, and that's why I've replaced it in there with the yellow one. It is actually not as bright, unfortunately, but it is inherently more safe, because the last thing I want is this thing start melting a hole through itself. But literally just a word of warning, not necessarily to people who want to try this custom for themselves, but just to anybody buying cheap knockoff toys, it's really not worth it, because, they've got small parts that come off, they're not very health and safety conscious, and it is just something that is awful. I know it's something that another YouTuber, Leo Kim Video, does Thomas reviews, and he constantly looks at knockoff Thomas toys. Something he said many times, that they're not worth it, and you can't endorse them. I can't endorse this as a Hulkbuster toy. I can endorse it as a good piece to use for this custom if you can rewire the light or use a low energy version, but as an actual toy, it's just not worth it. Anyway, that's not what I'm here to say, but I felt like it's something that is a prevalent piece specifically for this model. But overall, I'm very, very pleased with how he's come out. Obviously, he's still got movement in the arms, and I have cut off the fingers, obviously, to give him more sort of a clawed appearance. That arm is a little bit still stiff, and he is a little bit top-heavy, unfortunately. So I do have to be careful when posing him. Something else that might be interesting for other people to try if they wanted to do this was with the head. Obviously I've glued this on, it's stuck on there, but what you could do if you had a small magnet, flat sticky magnet here, and another one on the base of the head, you could very well have swappable heads. And indeed, I actually have to say that if they ever do a Hydroflax figure for real, then I would certainly use that type of thing as an accessory. I think it's a very good idea. Obviously it would require very careful use of things like magnets and things in a toy, but just as a custom, actually, I think it works very well, and I think for that reason I would love to see it as a proper toy. I think it would be a great one to have. Just have to be able to do it right. To give you an idea of scale, I'm going to bring in a relatively unmodified in terms of height figure of the 12th Doctor. So as you can see, in terms of scale, he is roughly in scale with the 5-inch figures. He's a bit shorter than he probably is in the episode, but as a figure, it still works to be displayed alongside other ones. So it is definitely one that will take pride of place on a shelf in my collection. So, as always, I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, favourite, subscribe, share, it really helps me out a lot. And I will see you all with another video very soon.